Unveiling the historicity of the Ramayana, bridging myth and reality. The historicity of the Ramayana, one of India's most revered epics, has sparked considerable debate among scholars, historians, and devotees. While some regard the Ramayana as purely mythical, others argue that the epic has a basis in historical events. Over time, several pieces of evidence have been cited to support the claim that the events described in the Ramayana are not merely stories but have historical underpinnings. 1. Archaeological evidence. One of the most significant locations associated with the Ramayana is Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Rama. Archaeological studies in this ancient city have uncovered structures that some researchers believe date back to the era traditionally linked with the Ramayana. The excavations in Ayodhya, especially those at the Ram Janmabhoomi site, have revealed remnants of ancient structures that some scholars argue could align with the descriptions in the epic. Additionally, discoveries in the Gulf of Khambhat, have unearthed submerged cities that could date back to the time when the events of the Ramayana are believed to have occurred. These findings have led some to propose that the civilizations described in the Ramayana could be based on actual historical settlements too. Ram Setu, Adam's Bridge, Ram Setu, also known as Adam's Bridge, is one of the most tangible pieces of evidence that supporters of the Ramayana's historicity cite. This chain of limestone shoals stretches between Pamban Island off the southeastern coast of India and Mannar Island off the northwestern coast of Sri Lanka. The Ramayana describes how Lord Rama's army of Vanaras, Mankimen, built a bridge to Lanka, present-day Sri Lanka, to rescue Sita from Ravana. Geological studies, supported by satellite images from organizations like NASA, suggest that the structure might be man-made or at least significantly altered by human activity. The age of the bridge, based on studies, is estimated to be around 7,000 to 10,000 years old, which intriguingly corresponds with the traditional dating of the Ramayana. 3. Astronomical dating. Astronomical references within the Ramayana have also been used to date the events described in the text. Scholars like Dr. P.V. Vartak and others have analyzed these references to identify specific dates. For instance, the positions of stars and planets during significant events like Rama's birth, his exile, and the battle in Lanka have been cross-referenced with astronomical data. These studies have often yielded dates that fall within the Treta Yuga, an epoch described in Hindu cosmology as the period during which the Ramayana is set. The precision with which these dates align with the timeline of the epic has led some to argue that the Ramayana might have a basis in historical reality. 4. Cultural and literary references. The influence of the Ramayana on Indian culture is profound and pervasive. The epic has been retold in various regional languages, each version adding to the cultural tapestry of India. This widespread veneration of Lord Rama and the consistent retelling of the Ramayana over millennia have led some scholars to argue that the story must have a historical basis. The Ramayana is not just a story but a cultural phenomenon that has shaped the religious and moral framework of Indian society. The epic's consistent presence in literature, art, and religious practices across centuries and regions suggests that it may be more than just a myth. 5. Global references. Interestingly, elements of the Ramayana have been found in ancient texts from other cultures, indicating that the story might have a broader historical footprint than traditionally believed. For example, Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, Cambodia, and Thailand have their own versions of the Ramayana, known as the Ramkien in Thailand and Riamkar in Cambodia. The presence of these stories in geographically distant regions suggests that the Ramayana may have been based on historical events that spread across cultures and civilizations. 6. Continuing debate, despite the various pieces of evidence, the historicity of the Ramayana remains a subject of debate. Critics argue that while these findings are intriguing, they do not conclusively prove that the Ramayana is a historical record. They suggest that the epic may be a blend of historical events, cultural memories, and imaginative storytelling. The archaeological evidence, while compelling, is not definitive, and the astronomical dating methods, while sophisticated, are based on interpretations that could be subjective. Conclusion: the Ramayana's influence on Indian culture and its potential historical underpinnings continue to captivate scholars and believers alike. The epic stands at the intersection of myth, history, and spirituality, making it a unique and enduring story. Whether the Ramayana is historical or mythical, its significance in shaping the cultural and spiritual landscape of India is undeniable. The ongoing research and debate only add to the richness of the epic, keeping the story of Lord Rama alive in the hearts and minds of millions around the world.